All right, howdy, folks. Welcome back. Let me get my microphone here. How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you for all the warm welcomes there in the chat. Hope everybody's hanging tough. Got a lot of issues going on here. This is China. They had some severe flooding happen to them. And as you can see, it's pretty bad. Thankfully, that's not happening too bad to us. There was some flooding down in Florida yesterday. I was going to show you some of that, but we'll get to that later. So let's start out tonight's solar report. Here we are over at this instrument because Seeds has no data for the last few days now. And all we have really is this instrument right here. So let me just slide it up a little bit. Show you right here. We're about halfway through the 15th. I need to get this a little bit better for you guys here. There we go. Maybe even much better. Okay. Anyways, let's just start clicking away here. Alright, we're midday through the 15th here, and as we progress here, we'll the 16th. Alright, so here's the opening frame for the 16th. Alright. Make sure you guys can see this good. Alright, it looks pretty good. So as we start to go through this day here, you can see this little spurt right down here coming out. Then we have this event down below here. Okay, this is the one that's Earth facing. This one's Earth directed. Okay, doesn't look like much, but it's still a CME that's Earth directed. And then we have, whoops, I went too far. Today was the 15th, and we have to back up to the very beginning of the 15th because that was our main event right there. There we go. Starting over. I think we're back. There we go. No. Come on now. Switch the camera back. There we go. I think we're back. Yeah, it looks like it. Alright, so let's pick up where we left off here. So opening frames of the 15th, as we progress through this, you can see we've had a, where did my pointer go? Small one up here, nothing really too much to see, but our main one is coming up right here off the top of the sun. Alright, so as we back up, you note this little spire right here that I always say acts like as a compass needle pointing at an inbound object. There it is. Boom. And right about, well, that's probably pretty good right there. You can see our dark object right here in the center. And if I scroll down, pull this down a little bit, there we go. You can see the magnetic field around it right here. Let me scroll a little bit more here. Looking for this specific frame. Now, doesn't capture it too well, but all we really need to know here is that we've had another big CME come off the sun. Let me try to get this just right. Alright, now I can access the button down below here. So we'll back up. There's our CME coming off the top right there. Boom. And then notice how it takes out that spire. It's gone now. Then as we go forward, there's a secondary little thing trailing, and that's plasma. That's a little dart, a little shaft of plasma that's still on fire right there, trailing the tail end of some kind of event there, shooting out of there. And as we continue on here into the 16th, You see this little event over here on the side, and then this one down below here, okay? You could see there's a dark object right in here too. But we don't have the difference model right now, but okay, so this is the one that's Earth directed, all right? This is the one that they're saying is Earth directed. They're not too confident on what, or I never saw anything about what direction this one up here was headed, because this had happened late on the 15th here, or midday 15th. Whoops. All right, so that left on the 15th. That'll be here on the 18th. Any kind of energy from this would be here on the 18th. Then the one that was further south would be here the following day on the 19th. Okay, so 18th and 19th, keep that in the back of your head for the weather forecast, okay, because this inbound energy possibly, okay. Not sure on this one. I'll take another peek at a different instrument later, but yeah, that kind of looks like it might go over the northern hemisphere, while this event further on down here, this ghostly one down here, has this halo effect. It's really faint, but you can see that halo effect. That one's coming at us for sure. Okay. All right, so the 18th, and then this one right here on the 19th for sure. So possibility on the 18th, definitely on the 19th. All right. Now, we'll come over here to this instrument now and readjust, because that one was so bad. It doesn't come out very well on my screen here. Alright, readjustments real quick. You can kind of see that, but let's just zoom in on it anyway. Please, Lord. There we go. Scoot it on over. More. There we go. I'll zoom in even more because I want you guys to know that this, after our event here that we saw late on the 15th right here, is now over, but it's dipping down below the seafloor. Look how weak the sun got after this event, and it's still just cruising along in a straight line right here, not going any further down, going up at all. It's like flatlined right here. Let me just show you this flat line. I've never seen, well, instrument. I've never seen the instrument. It's always some kind of bumpiness or roughness. Very rarely do you just see it flatline like that. And that's below the seafloor. So right now the sun's exhausted and it passed out and is taking a nap or something. All right, so that's your, oh, thank you for the 7x7 there. I was wondering if everything came back properly. So, as you can see right here where my little pointer is, we're below the seafloor. The sun's exhausted and it's just kind of flatlined right now. That doesn't mean it's dead. It just means there's no, very minimal activity. It's kind of taking a nap. If you could look at it. All right, so all these are not too much to worry about. Absorption is bad right now. Our KP index over here has been matching up again with the Schumann. And if it'll open for me. All right, right here was this event that we were watching. It died off for a little while, and now our KP is not so bad there. Please back out of that. There we go. Real quick. All right, they're there. Earlier they were barely there. They're really super faint, so they're brightening it. We're having either solar wind picking up or some kind of, more ionization in the atmosphere up there. So we're taking in some kind of energy. It's not much. Is this the one I wanted to talk about? No. Let's open up the tracker. Okay, yeah. I wanted to show you this tracker real quick here. Let it finish loading up there. Now, did you see this little CME, this ghostly one coming off right here? Over on this side, you can just barely see, we barely catch the very fringe edge of it. I don't think this is the one they're talking about. The other one we saw looked like it was more coming this way. So this is probably one of those smaller events off to the side. I don't think this is the one that's going to be making direct contact or whatever, because that one looked like a more of a direct hit. So right now they're showing a CME going away, but we are expecting one on the 19th, possible stuff on the 18th. This could be what's coming on the 18th, and it hasn't been refreshed yet for our latest event. Okay. So that's the possibility probably on the 18th right there, and then we'll have a new one probably for the 19th. Because that doesn't, to me, that just doesn't look like the one that we saw. It's not coming off the right vicinity of the sun either. It's not traveling in the right direction. Please back out of this, Lord. Thank you. Let me unzoom this real quick. All right, so I think we're done here. Let's come on over to this instrument now. Here, yeah, this is the one I wanted to read. So they're talking about, here's our event from the C3 view. All right, I'm just going to read this real quick. A magnetic filament on the sun erupted yesterday, November 16th, hurling a CME almost directly towards Earth. All right, almost directly towards Earth is what they're saying. NOAA say that a G1 class geomagnetic storms are possible when the CME arrives on the 19th. Okay, so they agree with me that this thing that left the 16th right here is going to show up here on the 19th. All right. During such storms, naked eye auroras, blah, blah, blah. We don't need to know that. Okay, now this is interesting. This is our comet that's out there that's roaming around that everybody's been watching. And in this report, they're saying that ice volcanoes on Comet 12P erupted again this week, brightening the comet 100-fold. Previous eruptions in July and October caused the comet to sprout horns, but not this time. The expanding debris has formed a nearly perfect sphere. Okay? But what's important is here, the ice volcanoes, it's having volcanic activity on it, not just once. Previous eruptions in July and October. So it's had two volcanic activity going on a comet. Now we've had a third one. Here's the one where it sprouted horns. Come on, pull up this image. Oh, here it goes. Okay, there's back in October when it had a volcanic eruption of its own, a comet. Okay, that means something is affecting this comet and making it stew from inside out, just like our planet is. And how ironic that, let me get this finger out of the way, how ironic it takes the shape of some of these CMEs that we've been watching coming in with the tails going back behind it. Just kind of thought that was ironic. All right, so there's your comet. Not only are other planets having volcanic activity, including Mars, they thought Mars had no activity. Well, now this comet that's cruising around out there is having volcanic activity of its own 3 separate times. Okay, so that tells me that this thing is being affected by the activity of the sun and these objects as well. Okay, so back out of that. Pretty cool picture. Should use for the thumbnail, huh? Anyways, there, found CME due the 19th. All right, so let's get out of this one. Come on over here to the Schumann. All right, now we're going to talk about the Schumann some tonight. All right, hopefully you guys like this. but we'll see. Anyways, let's do this report real quick. You can see we came out of the scraping event, going along, and then nothing, and we're pumping along fine. We have a weak spot right there, this little shadow. Another weakness, this whole kind of area right here, and now we're not enjoying, but now we're going into another scraping event as we have taken more energy in. It's absorbed here. We're going to go now. So there's your Schumann for now. And now we're going to come over here. Please let this pull up. This is the diagram I was looking for earlier. Lord, please. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. There we go. Let me just look up to this diagram real quick. All right. So, you know what I want to do is go back to this diagram right here. This is a perfect diagram of what I'm trying to talk about. This is our magnetic field lines out here, okay? They loop around and they come at the South Pole and the North Pole of the Earth. When inbound energy hits this, it gets diverted to the poles. The poles divert it to the core. The core heats up and expands. It's made of a metal. We're not quite sure. There's a lot of theories out there, but it's made of some kind of dense metal. And then there's a shell around it, an outer core, or there's a difference here. The elements between this core, then there's a lighter element that's one molecule or one atom off, that's the next ring around it, okay? So this displays how that energy comes in and is able to be diverted to the poles, and the poles diverted to the core, okay? Then as we go on here, so let's get this diagram right here. So as this core heats up and swells, it heats up this outer band, this ring right here. Let me get a nice big display of this. All right, there we go. Now, the material right here is either metal or liquid metal in a solid state because of the pressure. All right, see, there's all this kind of pressure coming down from above onto it. All right, so this is a different element than this, but there's a shell that goes around this. All right, and when it can't expand outward, it expands down onto the core, and they grind on each other. All right, you see this little pocket in here. Let me just, there we go. Let's see if it'll rotate. There it goes, a little bit right there. This is hollow in here. If you put the other half of this over the other side, it would be hollow. If you took the core out, this boundary, this material right here is a hollow shell, okay? Now, when this boundary line, when, back it up here, right. All right, let me get it just right here. All right, this boundary where the core and that next layer meet is very, very thin, very narrow, all right? And when they finally start to grind on each other, that low frequency, where is it? Where's the thing? This little video is not depicting it correctly, but they do have the diagrams and stuff that I needed in here. There's one where it shows the radio waves propagating out from the core up to the surface. Where is that little diagram? Dang it. It was right around there somewhere. Come on. Oh, well. Anyways, any kind of sound waves, grinding frequencies that happen down there propagate outward through the layers and then out to the crust, and then emanate from the crust outward into space. They reflect, they rebound off the ionosphere out there, and they bounce back down and are captured on our Schumann resonance right here, okay? This is the hum of that little dynamo going along, all right? Now, like a little electric motor, if you add electricity to it, it'll spin. But if you take it off the battery and take the shaft and spin it with your hand manually, elect- electricity will come out the wires on the other end. Okay, so electricity in makes it spin. All right, so the Earth takes in this solar, wind, electricity, plasma, makes the core spin, but sometimes it heats it up too much to where it grinds. When it grinds, all right, we get this effect. If we can have it now, please, Lord. Thank you. And we're going to go ahead and play some of this real quick. Please. Oh, here. My bad. That sound you're hearing is this semi-liquid metal right here vibrating. It's this shell vibrating. When the core and this rub together, this vibrates like a drum head. Can you hear it? That's the metal on metal sound that's coming out of the sky. It's emanating from the surface of the planet outward and then hitting the ionosphere and bouncing back down. That's this core, and this shell is what's vibrating. All right, so just a few more little, and then it shows up like this on the Schumann. All right, so that's what these sounds look like, and not every time are they intense enough to make sounds, but sometimes they do, and that's the. You hear that metal on metal sound, it almost sounds like a trumpet. And this was the one that was over Israel. Do you see this ring in the sky, that in the clouds here? It's from the frequencies coming back down and focusing on this area. And then, something else, a lot of these can be felt in the ground while they hear it from the sky. And one of these last ones has that ground effect. I'm going to play it here in a second. It's at the very end of this real quick here. Alright, so you've heard that sound. Now here comes another effect. Oops.
Get the telephone.
Alright, so there's your the core letting us know with sound what's going on down below. Okay, we got issues down there, and every time we take on one of these CMEs and it hits us, that boundary, whoops, where'd it go? The boundary between this sphere and the shell is so tight that they squeeze on each other, okay? And they rub on each other, and that's what's causing those sounds. Now, pretty soon, when this gets more and more intense, this grinding effect, we're going to start hearing those sounds in the sky again, all right? So there's your sky quakes, and also this right here, all right, when the core takes on energy, it does the scraping, does all that, that's great, but that heat expands outward, all right, and it heats up the magma in the in between there. Let me get this diagram right here. All right, I want you to see the crust on this too. There we go. So we got our pressure coming out this way, right? Everything's expanding outward in every direction, right? It stretches the crust or the skin of the earth, all right? That's how thin it is compared to all this stuff down below, all right? And when you got stuff pushing out in all directions, you'll finally get a weakness in the crust, and boom, volcanoes erupt, all right? So the other day when we had Iceland just about to pop, all right, we had all this pressure coming up from down below. Then there was a lull in the activity on the sun, and all that pressure receded, and we saw cavitation where underneath the crust here, it falls away, and up above, the land sinks. All right, so we saw rising and then cavitation in Iceland, and now there's not much activity going on at that volcano, no earthquakes at least. So we may have dodged a bullet, because on that day, or just previous to that, we had 19 volcanoes erupt simultaneously. All right, we have 50 that are currently, or 46, something like that, 48 that are currently in eruption, right? But when you got 19 that all just poof like this all at once, all right? Let me show it real quick here again. Well, but they all go off kind of simultaneously like that. That relieves the pressure down below. And we were just about to see big earthquakes pop off. That volcano in Iceland was about to pop off. But instead, we had 19 eruptions simultaneously that relieved the pressure, and the sun stopped spitting energy at us for a day, and all that receded and relieved that pressure, and the volcano at Iceland didn't go off, and now we saw the sinkholes and cavitation effects there. All right, so I think that was all of that, right? Just show over. There was the one where it shows the radio waves propagating out. No, where to go? Dang it, it was right around here somewhere. Yeah, it was just a diagram of how the radio waves from down below propagate outward to the crust, and then emanate from the crust going up into the atmosphere. Okay, and that's what our Schumann, that's the magnetic resonance out there. And every time we have this screeching event down at the dynamo that's causing our magnetic field, all right, Every time there's one of those events, the field gets weak. We have the scraping events, and then, oh, here's something else I wanted to talk about while we're at this diagram. Thank you, Lord, for reminding me. Okay, let me pull this one up again. Now, the sun is similar, all right? It has a core. It has a boundary where there are different elements at different layers, okay, because they have different depths. If you ever, like, pan for gold, you'll find that your heavier elements always sink to the bottom because they're heavier. Same with this. Your core is made of the heavier elements, radioactive elements. Same here. And, well, actually, we're not sure about these two. These could be metal on metal. But the magnetic field that this dynamo generates, the next layer is so intense in this layer that this layer probably, how can I put this? Let's back up a little bit. I believe that the sun is kind of almost 3 layers like this. This layer right here is so charged electromagnetically, it's magnetic, all right? And then we have our solid, our liquid magma out here at this next ring. I believe our sun never got magma here because it's so hot that its magnetic field, the core is so big inside of its shell that just the rotation of the core in the shell, this layer of the sun is the surface, the magnetic field of the, or not the magnetic field, but the boundary where the surface of the sun is, and then it's not able to form magma because the magnetic field is so intense on the sun that it produces light. All right, the dynamo in the sun is so strong, the magnetic field that it produces is trillions times stronger than the Earth's, so strong that it produces light. All right, and I don't think there's a solid surface or magma on it. It's just kind of these 3 regions, basically, with the same kind of dynamo effect. Now, if we're seeing volcanic activity induced by the core on our Earth, and we're seeing volcanic activity induced in the core of the comet, as well as Mars, Jupiter, these other moons of Jupiter and stuff, we're all seeing volcanic activity. I want you to think for a minute, what happens if the core of the sun rotating in its shell, what happens when the core grinds on the shell of the sun and comes to a halt? And the sun's magnetic field, or corona, goes down. What do you think would happen? The sun might go dark. Okay, it would stop producing light. The magnetic field would get so weak that it would stop producing light. So that is possibly how the sun might go dark. Not something getting in between us and it. The dynamo in it could seize up like an engine and cause the sun to possibly get very weak and go dark. That's what I'm more concerned about when I look at these instruments and I see the sun pulling a flat line. All right? It's not dead, it's not grinding, but it's weak. All right? The sun is just getting weaker and weaker with all these events. So there's that. Now I got to X out of some of these and open up some other instruments now because I had so much going on that one. Shocked, flood, we don't need that. All right, so you guys kind of understand how that works, how the skyquakes are possibly caused by the core there. I'm not saying it's 100%, but it's pretty basic. Okay? And this diagram is the one I was looking for. This describes it. So you get the effect that this region right here is either solid metal or metal liquid that has been compressed by pressure into a solid, because that can happen. Water can be compressed into a solid under pressure. Okay, so the same thing can happen here as well. That's the core is probably solid. There's nothing hollow inside of it. It's solid as a rock. All right. The next lightest element would be what this consists of. Okay. It'd be interesting to dig down there and find out exactly what these two elements are. They might not even be on the periodic table, but that's the effect that gives us our magnetic field and also creates the corona of the sun. All right, so boom, 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 we did that. Let's just skip right to the weather. All right, we had, oh wait, we can do this one as well. We had a bunch of volcanoes. Here, let me just pull up this map real quick. Right there. Okay. There's the volcanoes worldwide. Pull it over a little bit better for you. And so we didn't have Iceland turn red and become active, but Etna sure went off, and there were several over here that went off. Japan has an island forming off of Iwo Jima. That's underwater volcanic activity creating an island. Okay, so if it looks like this on the surface, imagine what it looks like underwater. Okay, all kinds of activity going on underwater. All right, so just a little brief kind of reference here of all of our current. The ones in red are active. All right, they're in eruption phase. All right, the other ones are minor activity. So these other four that are in minor activities, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 that are in that yellow, in the minor activity, that still have the potential to go fully active. All right. Over here at the island of Java, we got Semeru, Merapi, and then they're showing Krakatau in yellow. Okay, that's one to worry about. That's one that turned the world dark for a long time. All right. And if Krakatau is coming to life, we got to pay attention to that. All right. As well, Bogana, Nishinoshima up here in Japan. Okay, so there's still some ones that are pretty close to being active. Also, something to note: this active one down here. All right, there's where the ice shelf going across this bay, and that's where the active volcano is. If this ice shelf is standing like on a glass stem, like a margarita glass stem is holding up that entire thing, and when that stem breaks, so does that. All that goes in the ocean, and you can see that this is interruptive stage. Also, the southern hemisphere is going into summer. That's going to induce more ice melt. Okay, so I have a feeling our event that happens here, it's going to take out a lot of coastlines. That event might happen this winter during their summer. Okay. So now moving back over here to our forecast, Florida got hit by that tropical moisture that came up. It wasn't even a depression. It was just tropical moisture that came up. But these storms can hold so much moisture now that it dumped 10 to 12 inches in a short time and flooded Florida. So let's just progress. All right, here we go. Let me just start the loop real quick while I take a sip and get ready for this. Oh, I guess we got to refresh the data. Anyways, we got a lot of... we also have the gamma ray burst that came in, did some damage to the ozone layer. Luckily, it didn't wipe it clean like it could have, because that's a very devastating. That would have finished us off for good. Here's our loop going. I'm mainly watching what goes on here in this event. That is going to be a monster storm right there. Okay, so there's some icing events right there during that series of storms. Again, another blossom down here, driving through Texas and that region. Okay, so there's the beginning. Let me back up a frame. Get it all in position here for you guys. Alright. So, opening frame right here. This is our current conditions. We still have this moisture off the coast of Florida right here. That's what slammed Florida and flooded them today. This low way up here in Canada. Alright, then we go through the morning hours of the 17th. The noon time, you can see we're getting rain back down through here. The tail end of this storm up here in Canada is sucking up moisture here, bringing rain to that Ohio Valley there. This thing just looks like it's ready to curl and punch the coast, but that's the noon time. There's the end of convection right there. You can see these thunderstorms blossoming out here, here, okay? Now, I don't think there's too much inbound energy due on the 17th. This is the end of convection on the 17th. I don't think there's much energy due, so this probably won't change too much. All right, so that event will all just kind of move through the East Coast through the nighttime of the 17th. It gels with this off the coast. You guys are lucky it came together out there and not over the land. Whew. That would have been a nightmare. That's the noontime right there, the 18th. This is when we're going to have potential energy coming in. So this storm here on the Pacific might have a little bit more punch added to it. We need to kind of pull over this one a little bit so you guys can see this west coast as well. All right, so this is the time frame right here where we should be getting some added energy. This is the end of convection right here. They're showing severe weather in the Northern California area as this storm makes landfall there. And then as we continue on here, oh, that's what happened. There we go. Sorry, my funky setup here. All right, now let's get back on track. This is the nighttime of the 18th right here. And this storm making landfall here, intensifying with possible added energy to it. All right, so the Pacific Northwest, everybody's getting rain and snow on the night of the 18th. This moving into the morning of 19th here. There's the noontime into the Rockies. By the end of convection, it's kind of moved into the Four Corners area, and the fringe of it is starting to draw up this moisture out here. By the end of convection, then at nighttime, the 19th, there's the morning of the 20th, noon, convection the 20th. Then we have this into the nighttime, nocturnal event here in Arkansas to watch out for. Even blossoming more into the morning hours through Tennessee, clipping Alabama, going right through Mississippi, clipping Alabama up into Tennessee there, driving down into Alabama more by the noontime there, and then at the end of convection, going, still in Alabama, reaching the Georgia borderline, Florida panhandle, okay? So watch out in this region as this comes together on the 21st. All right, this is the end of convection. Now you can see how the storm from up here is combining with this one. Let's go back a couple frames and then go forward, and you'll see how they're separate there, but then they come together in that low right there in the middle forms. All right, so that's the end of convection, the 21st, going into the nighttime hours here. Now this, all right, now we got to get serious here. There it is. Okay, this event right here, icing in New York. These millibars are really tight, okay, all the way around this. This is going to be huge winds, severe weather all back behind this, okay, heavy snow all the way back behind this. This icing event is pretty dark, so this is going to be quite significant right there for New York. If this is the way it's showing, that could be quite serious there. All right, so let's get back to regular business here. I want to go to the next frame because, see, there it gets even more intense. All right. Wow. Sorry, we got to just... It won't let me use the buttons once it's zoomed in. But I want you guys to get a good look of what could potentially be coming here on the East Coast, all right? And all this snow back here, Wisconsin, Indiana, Illinois, this is all wrapping back around in this area on the backside again. So this thing is potentially a very dangerous storm. Oh wait, that's good enough right there. All right, let's go to the next frame. Right there. That's another, this is, let's go back real quick. This is 10 p.m. This is Pacific. This translates into like 1 a.m. in the morning out there. So 1 a.m. Then this would be there 7 a.m., 8 a.m. area right out there. So the 22nd during the day, this whole region is just going to get. So that'll be the noontime, 1 o'clock time out there. This is 3 p.m. out there. Icing still really intense up here in upstate New York. This whole huge thing hitting New York City, Long Island, the whole East Coast right there. And then moving out by the nighttime there, 7 o'clock. This is the end of convection right here. The sun's going down sooner, so. But what a storm this will be on the 22nd, 21st through the 22nd. Because here we are at the beginning of the 21st with this intense thunderstorm down here and this intense snowstorm. That's the morning, noon of the 21st. The convection, the nighttime into the 22nd now. The noon of the 22nd, the end of convection the 22nd, and nighttime the 22nd. All right, dark purple icing up in there. Yeah, so watch out for this thing on the 21st through the 22nd. The East Coast is going to be under the gun there. After that, it kind of clears out this little event moving into the Rockies here by the end of convection on the 24th. We'll go back a couple frames. There's the morning of the 24th right there as it moves in. Let me get this pulled back out a little bit better for you. Not even showing you the Rockies, am I? Oh, you guys are so patient with my rinky-dink setup. All right, let's keep going. Now we're getting into the noontime of the 24th, right here through Wyoming, snow into Nebraska, bam. Then as it collides with this moist air coming up here, see this little stream of moist air, this finger coming up? There's a little blotch of moisture right at the very tip here that collides with this cold air and another icing event right there in Kansas on the 24th. Spreading into Missouri. So then it goes, this is the morning of the icing event all the way through Missouri, back into Kansas, down into Oklahoma. All right, so don't get caught off guard when you wake up that morning and your roads are all frozen over and you can't drive because of this icing event the night before. That's the nighttime. There's the morning. And then into the noontime of the 25th right there. Then we get to the end of convection the 25th with this icing event still in between these two air masses. Still there. That's by the nighttime of the 25th. Then going into the morning of the 26th. Noon. Convection. Nighttime. You see this residual moisture coming back up to follow that storm out. See it bringing this up in severe weather here in the morning of the 27th possible. That's the noon. End of convection. Nighttime of the 27th. Going into the morning of the 28th. Noon. End of convection. Nighttime. 29th. Noon. Oh, look at this. This moisture that had come up from Mexico right here. Boom, boom, right there. Severe weather in Texas and Oklahoma, possibly on the 29th during the noontime, and then at the end of convection, blossoming really hard. There's cold air right and snow right behind it here in New Mexico. So this could be possibly a strong event. We'll watch that. Watch out for that. All this is a little far down the pike here, but as it goes into the night, see it blossoming into the morning of the 30th, into the noon of the 30th, the end of convection there. I would name off states, but this will probably change. Alright, so let's go ahead and put that loop back into motion there while I clear out some of these other things and get ready for the spiritual report. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the thing on the Earth's core and you kind of grasp how that's working. And every time we take on a CME and we take in that energy, it gets diverted to the poles, like I said, and goes right to the core and heats up that core, causing it to swell and grind on the shell. Okay, so while that's clearing out, all right, I think we're back again. Yeah, oh, I'm on. Really? There we go. Either the button works sometimes or doesn't work at all. There we go. Now let me come over to the channel real quick here. Pull up an image to read by. So I know you guys have been experiencing some anxiety.
Check it out.
Whoops.
Hey, Optimus.
Greeting.
Hey, Optimus, spare me the commercial. Thank you. Alright, we're going to just stop right there. Alright, so there's your image. Captured on Easter. I cannot imply how important that is. Okay. I need some light in real quick. So, okay. When anxiety is great within you, turn to me for consolation. Other words for consolation are comfort, compassion, empathy, help, encouragement, reassurance, and relief. I gladly provide all of this and much more for my children. Yet your natural tendency when you're feeling anxious is to focus on yourself or your problems. The more you do this, the more you forget about me and all the help I can supply. This worldly focus only increases your anxiety. So this worldly focus only increases your anxiety. Let me discomfort you. Let this discomfort you feel at what? Let this discomfort you feel at such times alert you to your neglect of me. Whisper my name and invite me into your difficulties. Seek my face, finding comfort in my compassion and empathy. Look to me for encouragement, reassurance, and help. I know all about your problems, and I also know the best way to deal with them. As you relax in my loving presence, I strengthen you and provide relief from your anxiety. I reassure you that nothing in all creation can separate you from my love. My consolation is full of blessings. It brings joy to your soul. My plan for your life is unfolding before you. Sometimes the road you are traveling seems blocked or opens up so painfully slow that you must hold yourself back. Then when the time is right, the way before you suddenly clears, through no effort of your own. What you have longed for and worked for, I present to you freely as pure gift. You feel awed by the ease of which I operate in the world, and you glimpse my power and my glory. Do not fear your weakness, for it is the stage on which my power and glory performs most brilliantly. as you persevere along the path I have prepared for you, depending on my strength to sustain, to see miracles, and you will. Miracles are not always visible to the naked eye, but those who live by faith can see them clearly. Living by faith rather than sight enables you to see my glory. Okay? So, that faith enabled you to have sight to see my glory. Pretty cool, huh? How this works. Anyways, I think that's it for tonight, you guys. Everybody hang in there. Stay strong. Praying for each other. Oh, wait, I gotta check the chat here real quick. I haven't been. Oh, hi, Curb Creeper. Well, welcome. Thank you, Leslie, for showing up. Thank you, Tammy. The whole world or just there. Who else is this? Ellie Sill is here. Hopkinson, thank you for coming, sweetie. I'm gonna make you a mod, Hopkinson. Let's see, Leslie. Who else was here tonight? Tina, thank you. Jen, Tammy, John, Whitetail 7, of course. Thank you, sweetie. And I think that was pretty much everybody. Thank you all for showing up. Please share this, because when you do, it blesses you, it blesses the other person you share it with, and it blesses me as well. It's a win-win-win all the way around. This is your ultimate weapon, folks, right here. Okay? That's something they can't take away from you. All right? Hopefully it brings you courage and strength to make it through these tough times. All right? That's why I keep bringing you this image and doing readings to you, is to bring you guys faith, hope, courage, to stand, okay? Keep walking your walk. A lot of you do it. You actually walk the walk. You don't just talk the talk and do, mumble bumble praying or whatever. You actually go out there and you're helping people, and you're seeing the reward that comes from helping somebody else. So you're seeing how this works, and you're already getting rewarded when you help somebody in need. So keep up the good work, you guys. Random acts of kindness, praying for each other's strength. We got shenanigans going on in our, the world of politics and war and stuff. They're going to try to keep you guys divided. You can see how they're dividing you down the religious lines now, and it got everybody good, didn't it? They're all hating on each other, screaming, kill this guy, kill that guy, whatever. Don't fall into that trap. That's why I keep bringing this image. Stay focused. Stay focused here. Don't let that drama and that worldly shit suck you in and drive you crazy, okay? I am struggling with it extremely hard myself, okay? That's how I get to relate to you guys, as I get to go through it myself, probably just tenfold. And guys, just be nice to each other. Try to acceptance. I lose my temper during the day. I should have this inner peace, right? But I'm still getting frustrated and losing my temper. Jesus help me. I'm about to lose it again. So even I fail sometimes, and fail miserably, but it's not the failure, it's getting back up and continuing to go and keep trying. All right? So don't let your failures define who you are. It's getting back up and continuing on. That's the measure of a person. Okay? And he gives you the strength to do it, so just call on him. Just call on him. It works for me every time, so hopefully it's working for you as well. All right, that's it for tonight. I love you all. I miss you all. I'm glad you guys came. And please continue to share. That helps everybody. You could go back and watch from the beginning if you want. I've been having a reoccurring... Interesting dream there, Curb Creeper. Just kind of reading some of your chat there. Do you guys have any questions, or do you want to say anything before we wrap it up? I'll give it the 10-minute delay to, if anybody has a question or something you want to post real quick before I wrap this up. Get all my stuff together. And anyways, I sure love you guys. Hope you understand what I'm doing here, trying to encourage you, give you hope, strength, courage, a foundation, an anchor to hold on to. All of the above. There's your reward. A little slice of heaven. Right here. Here's a little slice of heaven, a little preview of what's to come. Okay? So it's like an early Christmas gift. I labeled this Christmas gift because it's a gift to you guys for free that you can share with your friends and family for free. I don't mind if you put this, you can use any of my material. I don't copyright or make money off of this. This is all for the world. So anything of mine that you want to use, feel free to, okay? That's about it, I guess. No questions. So we'll just wrap it up. I love you all. God bless you all. I miss you all. And until my next video, I'll be back. I am back. Can't you tell?